Got my brother with me,
So, man,
brother Mark Jackson,
thanks for having me, brother.
brother from another mother, author. Read me and stay broke. Read me or stay broke. Author. This is some serious stuff in this book. Talking about finances and how to manage your money.
Yes, sir.
Get out of that rat race. Tell us a little bit about your book, man.
I mean, Read Me and Stay Broke, man. It's really the book that I wish I could have read as a young man.
Right.
It's a book that I feel condenses all the things we need to be a financially successful adult. I mean, in the really sense of things, who teaches us about financial intelligence? Who teaches us how to be, I mean, we grow up and we have all these things. So we in school.
Right.
We learn calculus, trigonometry, algebra, how to write proper sentence structure, paragraphs, all that other stuff. Like, yeah, that's foundational things that we need to be able to think.
Right.
But how do we solve our adult problems? If we're going to school and you know that at the end of 12th grade, now you're going to be an adult.
Right.
Why don't we learn any adult things?
Right.
Why didn't I learn how I'm going to have a credit score after graduation? I'm going to need to buy a house. We need to get a car. These are all home-taught lessons. But everyone doesn't have a person at home that can teach them that.
Right, yeah. We just go to school and get taught that system.
Yeah.
Just go work, go find your job.
That's because they're trying to make employees. They want you to be. So what I'm saying is, I started out as an employee, started out as a young African American male, obviously, but in certain situations where I couldn't figure out my financial problems.
Right.
And so I did something that we're really not taught to do to solve our problems, which was read. And so that's what kind of inspired me to write Read Me and Stay Broke, because I found a lot of knowledge by going against the cliche that if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. You heard that before?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's really insulting,
Yeah.
There's years and years and thousands of years of knowledge written down in the first form of communication that can be transferred over distance, which was writing. But we're taught or told that we're too dumb to be able to use that form of knowledge, to be able to advance ourselves.
Wikipedia not always accurate. Can't Google everything, not the essentials.
Oh man, so Read Me and Stay Broke itself is a story about a guy whose mom is really sick, and that's really his thing that he has to overcome in the story. Most people, they have like a big enemy, or the
hero story.
Yeah, no, this story is he's a hero, but he's a hero of his own life and of the people he loves, and that's what I feel like we're all trying to be the hero for. We're trying to be the hero for ourselves, right? And we want to be able to have the strength to help the ones that we love.
Right.
And so that's what he's seeking. He's seeking, how do I become more financially strong so that I can lift more of my problems off of me and off of the ones that I love. And so he goes on a journey. And in his journey, he meets people that, most of us will never be able to meet. He meets a savings expert, debt expert, credit, taxes, business, stocks, real estate expert. What I really discovered was that these were the core elements of being a financially successful adult. We have to get our savings up so we have money to invest. We have to get our debt down so we have to give less of it to other people. And at least in this American system, personal credit allows you to use money that's not yours to profit, and then with some of the profit pay back the money that you borrowed. But we're not taught to use it that way. We're given credit to say, you don't have enough money? That's cool. Go ahead and use mine, then pay me back eventually, which creates debt. What I found other people doing was using credit to take debt temporarily, to use it as capital or money invested in another investment, make the profit from the investment. Now I have a larger amount than I borrowed. Here's your money back plus the interest, but I have a profit. So what I'm saying is it was like a financial superpower. It allowed people to use money that they didn't currently have to make profits that they would not have been able to make without that amount, to be able to now come back, pay that back, and be in a better position. So that's a foundational piece. And then that system I just taught you is how businesses are started, stocks are bought, and real estate is invested in. You own property. These things are the foundational tools that we need to be a financially successful adult.
Yeah, now I've delved into the book. That's what we call good debt.
Yeah, yes sir, good debt.
So that's something. So a lot of people, either we scared to get into debt or don't understand it at all. And that's a good point that came up in the book, was the good debt. Like just pick and choosing what debt to get into. And the knowledge that's in this book is to get people to understand how to get out of that debt. That's why it's called good debt.
Well, the problem is
it's pretty much investing in yourself.
It is, but see, the problem is without this systematic breakdown. Like all I'm saying is, when I wrote this book, I was trying to just empower my people. That's how I felt. There's a phenomenon in the world that I discovered through my study that I have described as financial discrimination. Financial discrimination is, the laws now do not allow someone to be denied access to something by their race, by their religion, by their sexual orientation, by their nationality, by their age, right, by their gender. All these things are illegal. It's not illegal to discriminate against you if you are broke or don't qualify, right? So the new rule has become, I can deny you this thing, even jobs, right? So jobs do credit checks, but also, loan qualifications. So you want a house, you want a car, you want a job. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, guess what? Uneducated person who has low financial intelligence, which causes your bad credit, which causes your financial situations. I'm going to check your financial history and then judge you by that and deny you access to things that would allow you to get out of your financial situation.
Right. It's crazy.
Because you didn't know what you were doing in the first place.
It's a game.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's very invisible. It's really invisible because no one feels like it's somebody else's responsibility to teach them about money. And no one knows where to find, right? So if you come into the bank, you want a car, you want a house, you want something like that, I can say to you, let me pull up your credit. You don't even know how to pull up your credit. In most cases, most of the people don't know how to pull up their own credit. I'm going to pull it up for you in my system over here. I have access to it as this business. Your credit is too low. So guess what? You can't have this loan, you can't have this car, you can't have this house. And you leave there. Now, what do you do, man? Who's going to teach you now how to change that?
Right.
I told you it was too low and you don't qualify. How do you qualify?
Right.
How do you find out how to qualify? Where do you go to learn to qualify? Who's going to show you? What other adult who has all their own same problems going on is going to take the time out to teach you how to fix yours?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody. And so that's why Read Me or Stay Broke, to me, from my heart, was something I felt like needed to exist in the world.
So, as a man, what good you think this type of knowledge would do for a man, especially black men? Like just knowing and having the knowledge on this type of stuff. What do you think is the best benefit that a black man can have from just knowing? Like, I know for me, being able to sustain and maintain a family, you know what I'm saying? Just being able to have that surety that under any circumstance, I'll be able to pull myself, or not only myself, but my family out of a situation if we get in a debt crisis or a financial crisis. So
I mean, man, if you want it on the deepest level as a black man, this book allows you, it's not even about the book, bro.
Yeah, basically in general.
It's not. Financial information is a cage that is only unlocked with understanding. And we're kept in the cage as long as we don't have the key.
Right.
So the debt, the doing illegal things because we do not know how to remove the debt or the poverty, not being able to take advantage of opportunities that other people are able to take advantage of because we simply do not understand or have access to the funds or the information to understand. These things keep us in the cage that we find ourselves in. These are the things that keep us asking for an opportunity from another person that does not have our best interest in mind.
Right.
So for a black man, I feel like the biggest advantage of Read Me or Stay Broke is that I feel like we're natural growers. We grow ourselves, we grow our community, we grow. But in order to grow anything, you need a seed, right? And to grow a tree of wealth, to grow a family legacy of removing financial struggle, we need a seed. We need the ideas to be planted in us,
right,
so we can plant them into our lives in action and watch them grow into more fruitful amounts of money investments and things that we can use, but also to be able to plant them in other people. I feel like if we knew the things that I found out, anybody would do what I did. When I got the financial education, I feel like a lot of wealthy African American people or black men didn't get their money because they flipped the money, but they were extremely talented and made money. So they were an amazing athlete, a wonderful performer, and don't get me wrong, they have guys who are in the financial atmosphere, but when I was able to discover the way to take money and then make money, I was like, this is something everyone can do.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody can't sing, everybody can't tackle, everybody can't dunk, but everyone can take the little bit of money that they're making, wherever they're making it, and just apply that money and spend it on things differently with a different amount of knowledge. There's a concept I teach called the 5 habits of money. And it's earn, spend, grow, protect, and save. Right? So all of us earn, right, in some capacity. We all have to spend in some capacity. Most of the time, there's not enough left to save, but if you can, you save some. And then there's protect and grow. So protect is an ability to be able to minimize your taxes, right? And then grow is to be able to invest. Well, these 3 are usually kept out of access for us. Saving, we usually don't have enough to do that. And if you don't have enough to save, then you're not really having a business or some kind of way to protect. And then if you don't have enough to save and keep it protected so it can grow, you don't have nothing as seed capital to invest in your investments and make it grow. So we can't get upset at ourselves or upset at our community if we only know how to earn and spend, because you're on a cycle that doesn't even have any more steps. So this book opens up the whole amount of options. So now when you earn, you can choose how you spend now. Maybe I want to spend on an investment instead of just consuming. But I didn't even know how to do that, I didn't know I didn't know what a stock was. I didn't know that I was even able to buy a piece of real estate. I didn't know that I could use my credit to, like I said, borrow some money, maybe flip a house, come back, right? All those things are open to us because, again, you cannot legally discriminate against us from having them unless we don't qualify or we don't have the money. And because we've been put in a position to where we don't have either one of those, a lot of these options are kept out of our ability to take access to, even though we're allowed to. And so I think this is the seed that grows the tree of knowledge, and then subsequently the tree of financial growth that allows you to have these new mental options open for you. So that now when you earn, you can say, well, what would I like to do with my money instead of what do I have to do? What do I got to pay for? In the financial game of life, every day we all play, right? Every day we all play the money game. And what wealthy people do is they spend on things that will make more money.
You're right.
Right? And
Assets.
They buy assets first and then live off of what comes from them. Most of us, we spend first and then try to survive on what's left,
We were just talking about that the other day, how you notice, it's like holidays, like mainly Christmas, is somewhat of a crutch, or maybe even a curse for black families, because what we do, we do the whole shebang. We go broke, buying all the gifts and elaborate stuff. You see most wealthy families, you don't too much see that. You see, they gather around the table and Christmas carols, eggnog, family time. Time is real money. But us, we do that, but after the big kabang, you know what I'm saying? But the main thing with us is we might not necessarily be able to afford it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all the Power Wheels and PlayStations and this and that. But we really can't. Most of us can't really afford it.
Yeah, but I give black people, a lot of credit though, man, because at the end of the day, first of all, have you ever been like trying to eat right for a long time and then you just like, man, you know what? I'm gonna just give me some pizza today.
Right, today.
I've been eating this salad stuff and I've been sacrificing and it's healthy and it's good for me. But man, today I just want some flavor. I just want to eat something good. I want to eat what I want today, right? So a lot of us sometimes, man, you go through the whole year struggling. Your kids going through the whole year with bad shoes. They ain't even got no PlayStation. They don't have no game. Their homeboy got a game. Their kids,
Right.
I mean, it may be wrong, and I'm not saying go out and just blow your money. But what I am saying is I can understand when people splurge, because sometimes you want a little taste, man. You say, you know what, man, I just want to get what I've been keeping myself from, and
that goes with that. That's without the knowledge, though. That's without.
And then we don't know no better, bro.
Yeah,
that's the second thing I wanted to say. I wanted to say the second thing is, like, you know, sometimes you just don't know better. You know, man, it is. For me, I feel like if you think back to slaves weren't allowed to read and write, right? Because if you read and you write and you communicate, you know, nowadays, not just for black people, but for most people, my mama likes to call them, or tells me to call them, or tells me to think of, you know, the situation I was in and the situation that most people are in, as underserved communities, underserved people in general. The shackles are not being allowed to understand finances.
Right.
If you notice, the way that this book is structured, there is no book structured like that. There's no book that takes you from A to Z of how to be a financially successful adult.
Right.
And that is because it is financially beneficial for a lot of people, for a lot of other people, to not know what they're doing when it comes to their money, because then you have to borrow, you have to go into debt, you have to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you ever watched this movie. It's called In Time. Yeah, Justin Timberlake in it. I think it's called In Time. And in the movie, time is on your arm, right? So there's a saying in that movie that's very, first of all, the movie's good because it really directly relates time and money.
Right,
if you're out of the time that's on your arm, you die, but you have to spend the time to get stuff, right? Well, there's people who have, you know, thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, and there are people who live 24 hours at a time. Right? So there's people that live day to day, which is essentially almost paycheck to paycheck, right? And if they don't make any more time today, they're going to die today, right? And his mom actually dies on the day that they changed the interest rate and the price on something. She was going to do something, and she had an hour and a half, and the man said, it's 2 hours today. And she said, well, I got an hour and a half, just let me get down there, and my son will give you the other 30 minutes. And he was like, it don't work like that, right? So what I'm saying is, in that movie, there's a guy who has 1,000,000 years, right? And there's people living day to day, right? The saying goes, in order for a few to live forever, many must die.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you think about a person like Jeff Bezos, who has $100 billion, and you think about somebody like, you know, Warren Buffett or Bill Gates, who have 50, 80 billion dollars, for a few of them, for the 1% to have billions of dollars, many of us only can have $1. So it's not beneficial to teach us to stop having only a little bit of money, because what does it do? It teaches us how to, you know. So that I think about stuff like that, man. You know.
In Time, man. Check that movie out. Getting a different perspective here. So In Time, check that movie out. That was a good analogy, man. That was real good. And you know, that's just the way that. And you know, we have to be. We have a lot of energy, man. We do things, and we make the most money. We have to channel it. We have to channel it in the right directions, and I feel that's what you do, brother. And I definitely appreciate what you do, and mainly for our babies, man. So the main thing I get from when I read this book, and it's a good book. It's real good. It's good. It keep me. It take a lot to keep me in the book. I'm not a big reader, but I read what's necessary, what I have to take. This book actually keeps me, like, it's entertaining. You know what I'm saying? And what I get from it is just being able to, my view on it as far as black men, being able to pass this knowledge down to my sons. You know what I'm saying? Like, without a shadow of a doubt, like, y'all gonna know this.
Yeah, I mean,
it's second nature.
That's your cubs, right? So it's like you, like, look at it like this. In the world we live in, money is the prey. Right? If we lions, money is really the prey, because instead of just going and get some meat to feed my young animals, I got to go get the money
right.
to come here, and I got to distribute it amongst the things, but it helps me supply all this other stuff.
Right.
So that's really the prey. Not how do you hunt, right? How do you hunt? How are you taught to hunt? So if you can get better hunting skills,
Right.
you're gonna teach your cubs how to hunt. You're gonna teach them how to hunt regardless. But what if you was a master hunter?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What if you could? What, you know? So now that's really what helps them survive, because hunting is about survival.
Right. Yep, absolutely.
So that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? I'm giving there's a better way to hunt and accumulate, the prey, so that you can now teach you could use your prey to feed the family. Like everyone would come eat off the, if you the man, if you went caught it, you would bring it back and everybody would eat. Right? So that's what you do. You go get the money, you bring it back, everybody eating. But one day, your youngins will have to go get their own food. You can't always keep bringing it to them. So now what ways do they know to go get it? Do they know how to go get it from McDonald's? Or do they know how to go make it for themselves? Do they know how to go do it on an expert level? Or do they only know how to do it on a please, can I have something? Like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of going over here and asking for a bite off of these persons caught prey, do they really know how to go out and find and hunt down a fresh piece that's running away from them? Right? The antelope gonna run when you come. Right. So the opportunity gonna go. You're gonna see the opportunity. I want it. But if you don't have the capabilities to hunt that opportunity right, it's gonna outrun you.
It's gonna outrun you.
You see what I'm saying?
Leave you behind. Yes, sir. That's important.
So with the proper techniques, you could chase it down.
Yeah.
And then you could bring it back and say, Daddy, look what I caught.
And that gives us the confidence to go and get it. Like, a lot of people don't go get it because it's just the natural fear of I might not be able to get it because I don't feel like I have what it takes to get it.
I mean, what if I told you I'd give you $1 million if you could surf that wave right there?
You know what I'm saying?
You would want the $1 million really badly, and you would even go try, but you wouldn't be able to do it because no one had ever shown you.
Right.
So it's by no fault of your own that you can't capitalize on that opportunity.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what I feel like is what's missing for us is that it's not surfing the wave. It's doing something that we have to do every day. We just don't know how to do it better because there's really not access. Like the sad part about money is that it is in our society inherently competitive.
Yeah.
Right? And so no one wants to help another person get ahead of them.
Right.
Me, I don't feel in competition with anybody else because I discovered that no one can stop me if I have the knowledge. Now before, you feel that way. You feel like I'm trying to get this business, you're trying to get this business, I'm trying to get this house, you're trying to get this house. So there's natural competition, but that doesn't mean you have to compete. Does that make sense? Like there's competition, but it doesn't mean you have to compete. And so you can become skilled enough to where you don't feel like other people are in your way. And then when you don't feel like other people are in your way, you have no problem helping them along their paths because now you realize that your paths don't collide.
Yeah, then it frees you up to create. I mean, that's what it really is. Just don't focus on competing. Just create. You know what I'm saying? But that the knowledge of that opens that up because by nature, I think it's gonna always be. Well, I gotta who around me doing what. So I gotta outdo. He got an idea of doing what I'm doing, so I gotta outdo him. But you just simply create.
Yeah.
Look at all the chicken joints that's successful. Everybody got a chicken joint. They all successful.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it's like anything else. Like sometimes I think about school or whatever like that. There's a lot of teachers that teach the same subject, but you can't teach everyone.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's just a natural. That's just a matter of fact, man.
You can't feed everyone with your one restaurant. You can only feed the people that's coming over here. So why feel like you gotta be taking everybody else's opportunity? Like it's a difference between an abundant mentality and a set mentality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the creator put enough resources here for everybody, man. And it's only through I take my degree is in business, so I think sometimes my perspective on the principles of using scarcity, of using urgency and stuff in your marketing, these work, but at the same time, like what are the continuing effects on people, right? Saying like AI and things like that. If you have urgency in your marketing, come get it now before they run out. Only a few available left, right? You start to see that everywhere. There's only this here. There's only that there. And unless I get mine, then there ain't gonna be a piece for me.
Right.
You know, when your knowledge is up, or when you begin to understand and able to see more opportunities, then you don't feel like the opportunities are so limited.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when you can start seeing how you can invest in that house, this house, or that house, when you can see that it doesn't matter the business idea, here's how you structure a business, and this is how you bring profits into a business, regardless of what the product is, then you don't feel like I got to do this one right here, and we all got to rush to it, and I got to win. You know, now you have, you know, a buffet, so to speak.